Oh, let's have some fun, baby. Let's talk about some Bears football. Oh, baby. Oh, my fucking Christ, dude. Come on, man. Well, was talking about you should fire Matt Eberflus and let Thomas Brown show you what he can do and see whether or not he's a contender in the next head coaching search. And, positive outlook here, folks. We got to take the positives wherever you can fucking find them because there sure aren't a lot of them associated with the Chicago Bears and Bears football right about now. And that is that Thomas the Tank Brown left no doubt. Within 30 minutes, we all clearly had our answer. You're just riding out the string within the last 4 games. Woof. After firing the worst head coach in team history, the Bears and their players, who so many of them seemed like they were ready for Eberflus to go, and hey, it's a good chance to respond and show that he was actually the problem. Uh-oh. They forgot to play. Thomas the Tank Brown. He's got one job apparently, and that is to help the Bears get a top 5 pick. Oh my God. Like, this one was never fucking in doubt. From the opening series, the 49ers go right down the field on Eric Washington's defense. 5 plays, 70 yards, touchdown. And you're like, okay, just like with Eberflus, what the fuck's the difference? Hey, that's true, right? The Bears offense gets the ball then, and, they proceed immediately. Run, pass short of the sticks, punt. Bears football! And the 49ers get the ball back a little bit later, a couple of series, and they go 4 plays at 64 yards, score another touchdown, and before you know it, after the first quarter, they're up 14-0. Oh, wait, it gets worse. Then the 49ers quickly get the ball back because, of course, 3-0, Bears football! The 49ers have a 12 play, 70-yard drive that eats up over 7 minutes of clock, leading to another Brock Purdy touchdown pass, this one to Jawan Jennings, and all of a sudden the 49ers are up 21-0. Oh, wait, mercy rule, can it stop? No. The 49ers got the ball back again, drove down the field again, and they were held to 3 points. Moral victories, yeah! And the Bears are down 24-0 at halftime. Thomas the Tank Brown. I think I tank. I know I tank. I want this tank. I do this tank. Do. Thomas the Tank Brown. If this is your mission, man, you are succeeding in brilliant and beautiful ways, and you got 4 more games to get the job done. 4-13. Here we come, folks. Buckle up. Chugga, 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 chugga. Choo, choo. And speaking of trains, that's what we should start thinking about in terms of the Chicago Bears. We might as well call them the OnlyFans Bears. Because they are expecting and demanding that people pay money to watch them every week just to watch them get slutted out. That's what the fuck they are. The OnlyFans Bears. You've seen it happen so many times, but they're still out there desperately begging for people to drop money on them so you can continue to see them get whored out in all of their orifices. Like, that's what this was. It was an absolute whoring out today. Period. The Bears had, 3 or 4 yards of total offense. Not rushing yards or passing yards. Total yards of fucking offense was 4. Well, that's why they should have left Thomas Brown just in charge of Caleb. It wouldn't have made any fucking difference because then you put Eric Washington as the interim head coach and the same fucking result happens, people. Don't be stupid. It didn't make any fucking difference. But you also know that Eric Washington in no way, shape, or form is going to be considered as a real contender for the head coaching job. You thought there could be a possibility that a Thomas Brown might be seriously considered. So you had to go there. Like, argue against the wall if you don't agree. You're just wrong. I mean, if you want to look for other positives in this game, what else is there? Caleb threw a couple of touchdown passes in the second half to Rome Odunze. Like, that's a positive, I suppose. But even when you look at the numbers, Rome Odunze was targeted 5 times in this game. Shouldn't you find the way to get the ball into his hands more? If 2 of his catches resulted in touchdowns. It's just a thought. Like, you got 4 games left this season. He's already your wide receiver 1. Now go out there and prove it and fucking force feed him the ball 10 plus times a game. It is not that fucking hard. I promise you. I promise you. You know, and it's like, you could say, well, Cole Kmet didn't get any targets. He got 1 2-point conversion, and of course he fucking dropped it. Like, come on, dude. Stop worrying about fucking podcast appearances and start learning and worrying about how to make a fucking impact on the damn game. The Bears' rushing game was non-existent today. Meanwhile, they let Isaac Guerendo, the 49ers' third-string running back, 4th-round pick in this year's draft, run for 78 yards, over 5 yards a carry, and a couple of touchdowns, because why not? And oh, by the way, he had 50 yards receiving as well. The effort there to defend and guard George Kittle was non-existent. He had 6 receptions for 151 yards. Like, you're watching Tremaine Edmonds multiple times just getting totally fucked in coverage, having no clue where he's at. And there was the one big play to Kittle, I think it was the 33-yard one, where Tremaine Edmonds gets totally roasted in coverage. And the only thing that was more impressive than how badly he got roasted and out of position was how he just lollygagged his ass after Kittle like he's assuming the white guy is going to fucking slow down or something for him. It's a really good thing that Ryan Poles paid him 18 plus fucking million a year. And on that note, do we really need to talk about this game anymore? What other freaking positives could there be? Right? I mean, there was no way the Bears are winning this game. No way. I thought it would be a little closer than this, a little more competitive than this. But Thomas the Tank Brown said, chugga, 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 chugga. Tank, tank! Chugga, 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 chugga. Tank, tank! Ooh. Here's where we're at, though. How in the possible fuck could Kevin Warren defend, justify keeping Ryan Poles after this performance? You want to believe it was all on Matt Eberflus. Of course, it was never all on Matt Eberflus, but he was a fucking idiot and he needed to go. We don't have to be so binary, A or B. It can be an A and B problem. And you need to see that for your fucking selves. The worst head coach in team history has been fired. Now it's time to fire the worst general manager in team history, because why in the bluest of blue fucks would you want him involved in the next head coaching search? Why would you want him involved anymore with this roster build? Somehow in year 3, they're still rebuilding. Yeah, they're still rebuilding because your GM is fucking stupid. He's bad at his job. And just because he fleeced the Panthers on one trade doesn't make up for all the other stupid things he does. And in fact, I'll do a video in a day or two about why Ryan Poles is the worst general manager in Chicago Bears history. He is leading the pack by a country mile. You can take your Phil Emerys and pound them up your ass. How in the fuck could Kevin Warren sit there and say now, for a guy who is 14-33 as general manager, that he deserves a 4th year? Or if he is associated and involved with the head coaching search, that means he would have several more seasons. How could you possibly justify that? In the NFL, it takes you 3 years to rebuild. That means you don't know what the fuck you're doing. It's a failed rebuild. And that's where the Chicago Bears are. Both Eberflus and Poles should have been fired after last season. Of course they weren't, because Bears football! But now you've gotten rid of one problem, which is Eberflus, who I'm sure was sitting there watching and saying like, man, I could have done that. And he probably would have. Like, with the way the Bears were going, what would make you think that this outcome would have been any different at all today? They would have got their shit rocked by the 49ers just like they did. Because if Eberflus was still there, the Bears players would have given up just the same, had the same pathetic effort, like one of the last touchdown runs by Guerendo. There was just absolutely no effort defensively whatsoever. They just had mentally conceded at this point. How can you defend bringing back Ryan Poles? It is time to fire Ryan Poles and do it now. And it's time to start firing some of these fucking overpaid, underachieving, crybaby ass fucking players. Period. We got 4 games of this season left, folks. If all you've got right now is that clinging hope of a Ben Johnson or somebody like that, I'm not even going to shit on that parade. If you're clinging to a Mike Vrabel, then you're a fucking moron. Fire Ryan Poles already. There's no excuse not to. He's the worst general manager in team history. And you can't change my mind on that because you know deep, deep down in the recesses, the cackles of your heart, it's fucking true. What, you don't agree with me? How could you not? Who hired Gutless Getsy? Who hired the Wizard Waldron? Who hired Matt Eberflus? Who fucked up a comp pick for Byron Pringle? Who sat there and overinvested on the defense? Who gave up a second-round pick, a high second-round pick at that, and elite edge rusher money to a borderline third-tier edge rusher in Montez Sweat? Who the fuck did that? That wasn't Jeff Schlegel. That was fucking Ryan Poles. And I could go on and on. Who gave up a high second-round pick for Chase Claypool? Need I say anymore? I can and I will. Just bottom line, you already can't really take Kevin Warren seriously as a team president because the one thing he was really hired to do, he can't even fucking do right because, of course, Bears football, they're going to end up with some shitty-ass stadium deal just like they did 20-plus years ago. Can't wait. How could he be viewed with any type of credibility at all if he allows a general manager in year 3, his team has regressed after multiple years of having the number 1 overall pick in the draft, after multiple years of having plenty of draft pick currency, after multiple years of having a horde of cap space, to be 4-9? There is no defense for that. There's no excusing that. There is no justification for that, folks. And if you were trying to defend, excuse, or justify that, you are part of the fucking problem. Fire Ryan Poles already. Send his ass to the fucking Twinkies factory. I don't fucking know.